the Flight, you've seen the Impact. We've told you about both of them. Now we're going to see how they compare. They're both on the same network, AT&T. They both have full keyboards. So I'm just going to see, basically which one excels in messaging, web browsing, just basic functioning as a phone. So let's get on to that. So just a basic overview of each phone physically. The Samsung Flight has a full touchscreen display. It's 2.8 inches. It's a 320 by 240 pixel display and supports 262,000 colors. Resistive screen. The front of the Pantech Impact is also a touchscreen. However, the main screen is not touchscreen, so you have buttons to use each menu option. And this screen is about the same size as the Flight screen. It's a little bit thinner, like that. But it's not a touchscreen, whereas the front is. So just based on, if you want a touchscreen phone, then obviously get the Flight. If it doesn't matter to you, then they both look nice. As far as colors, this one only supports 260,000, whereas this one is 262,000. But they both look really good whenever you're using them. Both have really bright displays. They both weigh pretty much about the same. The Impact's 4.49 ounces and the Flight is 3.8 ounces. But they both, they're not heavy. They're both light. They both feel really solid. They're both made out of plastic, obviously, but the Impact feels surprisingly solid to me. When I first saw it or got it, I thought it would be just, like a basic cheap phone, but it actually feels really solid. The Flight does too. It's not, it's not flimsy or anything. It feels good in the hand. So style-wise, they're obviously very different. Personally, I like the Flight as far as just the way it looks, but you can see both of them, see what you like. They both have 80 megs of internal memory. You can expand it up to 16 or 32 gigs with a micro SD card. They do not include a micro SD card, but it does. You have the option of it. You can go buy one. They both have a 2 megapixel camera. Flight has with autofocus, and let me see. Because they're both on AT&T and they're both just basic messaging phones, as far as functionality, they're pretty much the same. You can see when you go to the menu on both of them, it's pretty much the same menu. You can see you have the same options for messaging, the App Center, music player, navigation. You have the same things with the Impact, email, messaging, App Center. So as far as that goes, they're both about the same. They both work really well. For web browsing, it's the same web browser, and both on AT&T, like I said, both GSM Edge phones. So data speeds are going to be about the same on each phone. So far, basically what it comes down to is if you want a full touchscreen phone or if it doesn't really matter to you. But one of the major differences is the keyboard style. You can see on the Flight, it's a slider phone. It's a lot like the Pre. You can see it's that same kind of basic style, and then the keys look pretty much the same. They are a little different, obviously, because the Pre is a nicer phone, but they are, really rubbery. They're a little small. My hands and my fingers are small anyway, so it doesn't really get in the way, but I do really, really like this keyboard. They're rubbery, so it's not really slick or anything. You can get some good grip on them, and it's easy to type with. I really, really like it. And then this is the keyboard for the Impact. So you can see it's a lot more spacious than the Flight. It's about 2 times as wide. So definitely more space. But the keys are a little different. They're more squarish. They're a little bit more slippery, and they're also a little bit more, I don't know if firm is the right word, but I do have to press
a little bit harder whenever I'm using the Pantech Impact as opposed to the Samsung Flight. So because of that, I prefer the Samsung Flight. It's just easier to type with. Let me give you a test message so you can see. So you can see I really like it. I mean, I can just type as fast as I want to and it works really well. I hardly miss any keys, hardly any mess ups. Really, really nice. It's just really easy to use. The Impact is also fine enough. I had some problems with it just because, like I said, the keys are a little bit firmer, more firm, so you have to press a little bit harder, but it's really not a big deal. It's not like, you know, it's a workout to use it. So you know, they're both fairly easy to use. I just happen to prefer the Flight because it's more rubbery, it's less slippery than this phone, and I like the way that the keys are shaped as opposed to the Impact. So personal opinion, you can make up your mind on that. That's really the only major difference between the two phones. And you're also going to see more about the Impact whenever I post the video for it, the video review. But since this is just a dogfight, I won't get into it too much. As far as the battery, they both last about the same. I was really impressed with how long they lasted. I'd say not using it, almost 4 to 5 days. It was crazy, and then using it still, I mean, maybe 2 to 3 days. It was really impressive. The Flight has a 1,000 milliamp hour battery. The Impact's only 930, not that much difference. So obviously, one of them is a little bit less than the other, but both of them performance was great. The Impact is $99 after a $50 mail-in rebate. The Flight is free after a $50 mail-in rebate. And obviously, with a new contract, you get, you get some discounts there. As far as using the phone just as a phone, talking, I do like the Flight better because the Impact, maybe because it's a little bit thicker than the Flight, just a little bit, but maybe it's just the way that it's shaped right here, the design. It does have, a little bit of a, kind of comes out a little bit right there, and that, it kind of bothered me. After talking on the phone for, 10-15 minutes, it kind of started to hurt my ear, just, felt a little sore. So in that regard, I do prefer this Samsung Flight. It was more comfortable, easy to use. Neither one of the phones have a 3.5mm headphone jack. They do both have a music player, but unfortunately, no 3.5mm headphone jack. So that's pretty much it for these phones. Basic overall, my opinion, I prefer the Flight because to me, I think it looks more stylish than the Impact. That just is what I personally prefer. You may not, you may prefer the Impact. I also like the fact that it is a full touchscreen. Though the Impact is a touchscreen on the front panel, this is mostly only for dialing. There's not a lot that you can do from the front panel, so you're going to do most of it from this screen, and this screen is not touch sensitive. So, another reason I prefer the Flight. Also, I prefer the Flight's keyboard. Just the way that it's set up, ease of use. I think it's easier for me to use. So overall, I prefer the Flight. But in terms of just phones, battery life was outstanding on both of them. They're both on the AT&T network with 3G data, voice calling. So they're both going to perform about the same in that regard. They both have pretty much the same features as far as music player, GPS navigation, web browser. It's a full HTML browser and looks really nice. They both have a 2-megapixel camera, so that's the same. And both of them have support for mobile email, so you can set up your Yahoo or Gmail account. Both of them can do that. So overall, they're very similar. I prefer the Flight, but it's up to you. There they are. You can check out Noah's Flight review on phonedog.com, and also I'll be posting a review for the Pantech Impact pretty soon. So we'll go to this in more detail. But there's the Phone Dogfight. You can see my opinion. See for yourself which one you prefer. If all else fails, just go to the store and check them out. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.